Okay, so the first thing you need is a sewing machine. It is possible to hand sew costumes, but frankly they're not going to be reliable, and sewing machines make it look a lot more official, better,
faster.
They're faster as well. I have hand sewed my Sally costume, and it took me about 3 days when it should have only taken me 3 hours to do. Fabric scissors, these are not regular scissors. Regular scissors are not sharp enough to cut most fabrics. So these will make it so you don't rip your fabric that you're about to use. You also need seam rippers in case you make mistakes. Do not try using scissors to undo the seams that you've put in your fabric, because then it will most likely rip your fabric and then you'll have to start over. Another thing that you can possibly use, Twin's favorite thing, glue guns.
Hello!
Glue guns will make it so you don't have any seams, but then you also can't wash your fabric unless it's in very cold water, and you would have to hand wash it. Glue guns are also not as reliable as sewing, and it will sometimes make the fabric bumpy. And you can't also use it for PVC and plastic materials because they will melt. Yeah.
Dun, dun.
Okay, what I have here is a serger. You don't need a serger, but again, if you want a nicer professional finish, I would recommend one. So what it does basically is it finishes the seams very nicely, so it will cut the fabric and then put a stitch on it, which makes it again more durable and nicer to wear. Would you like to see an example?
Example.
So here's one I made earlier. So if we look at the insides here, you can see that all the seams are very nice. There are no loose threads. It's going to be very comfortable to wear. It's going to look very nice and even from the outside. Here is an example of something that has not been served.
Oh me!
By an unknown costume maker. So as you can see, it's uneven. It's starting to come apart a little bit. So when the fabric starts to come apart like this, there's always a possibility that the seams will come undone.
And your pants will rip.
Yep, exactly. So it's
like
just
right here.
Yep.
It's already started.
Yep. So to prevent that and to get a nicer finish, you can use a serger. How do you know what size your costume is going to be? Well, all the patterns come with standard body measurements. So what you measure is chest, waist, and hip. And depending on what you want, what you're doing, whether you're doing pants or whether you're doing top. So what you do is you need a tape measure. You need a flexible one, so a ruler isn't going to do it. If you're going to do a crossplay, you need to measure yourself blinded, like Twin is here.
No! I can't find it! I hate you!
Okay, so we'll just measure the chest, okay? For the chest, you measure at the widest point. So for example, here it's 32 inches. And then you look at the pattern and see
towards the 34.
See what it corresponds to. Twin here is a petite size. A waist. Again, this is the thinnest part of your waist. We have 26. Again, that would be, according to my size chart, extra small. Hips, the widest part of the hip, 39, and that would put you in the category of medium.
What the hell? So it's like not on here, extra small and then medium?
Yeah, true.
It's like weirder than yours says.
You have childbearing hips.
Yeah, and you can write this down obviously, and after a while you just remember them, so you know what size you are. And according to your size, it depends on how much fabric you're gonna buy. So you need to do this before you buy fabric.
Go.
So the very first thing that you have to do is make a list of all the things that you're going to need for your character. Take your reference photo and then go through and write down the obvious things, like you need black fabric for her coat, red pleated fabric for her skirt, yellow for sweater, etc. But then you also have to think about all of the things that you need that are not visible through the pictures. Like you're going to need a zipper for the skirt, and then of course buttons for the inside shirt that is covered by the tie. So don't forget those, otherwise you're going to have to make a second trip out to the fabric store. So when making costumes, you take your reference photos and then you're going to want to try and find patterns that you can alter to make into patterns for your own individual character. So we're going to use Maka as an example from Soul Eater. She has a long jacket. So then what we do is we take the pattern book and we search through it until we find a jacket that we can possibly alter into hers.
Okay, I'm doing the what not to do segment of this, and say for Black Star, you obviously want black and white and some sort of silver trim. I don't know, that could possibly be metallic, but if I'm looking for white or black and I'm just browsing through fabrics, I don't want to go for something like a fleece, because one thing, that's really thick, and another thing, it won't look very good in most photos. This is why I'm doing the what not to do section, Yuna. Oh, and don't use anything like this. That should be pretty obvious, because that's got like sparkles and shit in it. And I'm swearing already. And don't use fur unless you need to use fur. Don't use anything shiny like this, because that'll be really bright in photos, so you'll look like you're shiny. That's never good. And yeah. Oh, and don't use any velvet unless you need to, because again, that'll look really weird in photos because it catches the light really strange. Try to stick to easy to work with fabrics. Okay, so now we're doing color comparisons, and if you have a reference picture with you, which you should, you can see that your character has a specific shade of color on his or her costume. Like Maka's is more of a almost really dark black, and Black Star's is almost more grayish. I don't know. But you want to take a careful look at the fabric you have, because even with black, there are different shades of black. Like here, it's really smoky gray. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's really more of a browny gray, murky color. And this one's really ashy and light. So if you're looking for a dark black, those two wouldn't be ideal. You wouldn't want to go for something like this, because it has a slight pattern to it. It's really tactile.
You can't really see it.
So it's, well, trust me. You don't want to go for anything with a pattern to it too, because you can see that in photos. So remember, whatever I just said.